Hello everybody, NGS here, and welcome back to Symphogear, the marathon of the finale of the marathon of the finale, episode 13. I'm recording it right after episode 12. Episode 12 is being uploaded to YouTube as we speak. Episode 11 is still being processed by YouTube, so it gets the HD version, but YouTube being YouTube, I'm using this time to record the last episode, because might as well at this point. Why not? If I was watching it by myself, I would probably binge all three at the same time. I would probably binge the entirety of Symphogear, to be perfectly honest with you, but let's just say I would binge the finale. So let's binge it. Why not? In the last episode, while it's still fresh in my mind, a lot has happened. Um, a lot and not a lot at the same time. What happened is Tsubasa seemingly sacrificed herself to destroy the Kadingir. We didn't know until the very end if she's still alive, is she not? But she certainly got one up on Finé and managed to evade her with the help of her wife, with help of Kanade's spirit. She turned into a phoenix and in a blaze of glory destroyed the Kadingir. After that's also important, after incapacitating Hibiki in psycho mode, which is not a small feat. Yeah, she managed to stop Hibiki from moving, just freeze her using her shadow binding arts or whatever the fuck it is. And we know that Hibiki could stand equal against Finé. She was able to damage her, she was able to cut Finé essentially in half, but of course, thanks to her fusion with Nehushtan, Finé was able to recover. Important note, Finé is now fused with Nehushtan the same way Hibiki is fused with Gangnir. Important and curious. What else? Of course, Finé didn't take the fact that her plan was thwarted nicely, and she took out all of her frustration on Hibiki. Hibiki was seemingly defeated, but her friends in the bunker managed to restart the school speaker system, school intercom, and sing the school anthem. And Hibiki, being the symphogear she is, being a relic, she was reawakened by that song, and she had a second henshin, and her second henshin also second henshin Chris and second henshin Tsubasa, which is interesting that her transforming also transformed the two of them. Kinda odd, but I'm gonna go for the rule of cool here and just give my thumbs up. And now, of course, our main trio is gonna have to fight against Finé. Hopefully rescuing Ryoko, maybe not, only time will tell. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, right, Hibiki's friends get some character development, that was nice. And we get a little bit of a callback to when Hibiki henshin for the first time, and she rescued that little girl. The little girl reappeared again. That's a very cool tie-in with earlier episodes. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that needs to be said, and we should just watch it. We should just watch the fight between our main trio, between Tsubasa, Hibiki, and Chris, and Finé. It's gonna be cool. Although Finé has that healing factor, not sure if she's even killable. And if she is, then what will become of Ryoko? Has Ryoko been truly dead for those 12 years and Finé is the only consciousness in her body? Or is Ryoko still there? We don't know. We don't know. And to learn that, we will have to watch this episode. One more thing. Hibiki's grave from the first episode. As I'm watching this series, it becomes less and less probable that Hibiki will die, so I'm wondering what that's all about. I'm still not sure. But again, episode 13, this episode should answer all of those questions, right? So, let's get going. Let's give you guys some subs. And let us watch this episode episode 13, the last episode of season 1 of Symphogear, with subs by G-Track. In 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, triple henshin, brighter colors, energy wings. Meteorites fall and burn away. Then I understand that it gave power to Hibiki, but why would it give power to Chris, who doesn't care one bit about the school? Why telepathy though? Okay, so we're just casually learning about noise. Cool. Okay. So she's responsible for the invasion of noise. Again, though, why the telepathy? That's a lot of noise. That's that's a lot of big noise. That's an ocean of no. Is anybody in the city still alive? And you're gonna level the city while at it? Yeah, let's just have a nice chat. Let's just have a nice chat while people in the city are fucking dying. Sure. Oh, new song? The song of the three of them. Yep, Bullet Punch. She just turned her Symphogear into a vehicle, into a flying Gundam, essentially. Energy punches, sure. Streets are exploding, people are dying, but hey, you just killed everybody in that block of flats, Tsubasa. I hope you're, proud of yourself. Let them hear our bond, let them hear our wishes. And there goes the city. It's been leveled. Is she gonna turn herself into a noise? Is she gonna... What are you hoping to achieve here? Oh, she's gonna fuse with the noise wand. And with the noise. Try to stop her? Or just let her do it? Okay, she's a slime girl now. Is she gonna become the Kadingir? No, she became the Durandal. No, she just became a huge noise. Well, that's an entire district dead. Just close the door. uh, no, the door's closed, and Nehushtan can regenerate. Yeah, they need a full relic somehow. That means what? That means what? You have some unbroken relic laying around that Hibiki can reawaken and use? Or what's your plan here? Babylon. Sure. Okay, how? Okay, she can make the sword even bigger. Destroyer Blue Flash. Okay, she got inside. It's just an Arcwing mission from Warframe, isn't it? They're going up against the Fomorian. Okay, Hibiki. Yes, please. Before we go through the trope of the bad guy grabbing it at the last moment. Okay, Hibiki managed to grab it. Now what? Oh, Psycho Mode again? Yeah, she's going to save her wife! Yep. That is a trope I like. Hibiki Faito! Hibiki Faito! I'm glad that Finé is giving them space and time to talk, you know? Miku, your turn. Or just let her go Psycho Mode. Or not, because Miku is here. Yeah, fuck everybody else. Miku called out to me. That's important. I'm not alone. I have Miku. Fuck everybody else. Uh, from friendship, something you will never understand, Finé. The power of friendship, go! Synchrogazer! uh, and boom, there goes another district. A nuclear winter due to fallout. Everybody here is dead. Or not. They actually have, like, shelters and bunkers underground. Oh, she's still alive. No, you're not. The common tongue of humanity is song. Is that it? With song. With the power of song. Is that it? You absolutely had. Yep. It's music. Last ditch effort to kill them? Or. Okay, she's gonna bring Moon to. Or at least she's gonna try to bring a chunk of Moon. Meteorite falling from the sky, was that it? Why though? See, that's why you make sure villains are dead. That's actually true and concerning. I don't think anybody's listening to you right now. Beautiful cinnamon bun, too pure for this world. She's going to sacrifice herself to prevent the global disaster. Okay, she's just been vaporized. I really thought she's gonna survive, but apparently not. She just decided to calcify herself. Yeah, it's gonna be like an extinction event. Yeah, you're saying things that sound an awful lot like something someone who doesn't believe they would be back would say. That's my cat. Suicide song. You're gonna blow up this fragment? Or is the suicide song gonna give you enough strength to push it back into place? Or. I mean, if it's suicide song that she plans on using, I fully believe that she's gonna come back. Chris did the same thing and she's less synchronized. And she fell from low orbit. So, oh, it's all three of them. Are all of them gonna sing the suicide songs? Okay, a whole nother song. Are they gonna blow up this fragment or. Or push it into place? That's a big sword. And that's a lot of rockets. And that's a long slingshot. Yeah, they're just gonna blow it up. So instead of one big meteorite, there's gonna be a lot of tiny meteorites falling down. Unless they completely vaporized it. That's also possible. No, a lot of tiny meteorites. Okay. Think a wish. Think a wish, Miku, quick! Wish for Hibiki to be okay. Okay, and we're back to where we were in episode 1. 3 weeks later, the graveyard. Okay. I'm gonna have to read what it says in the news later. After we're going through this episode again. I mean, you kinda did, except it was Hibiki who was one of the shooting stars. I guess that counts as saying them, though, so... Whomst? Okay, Miku is playing the hero. Is it the same place, the same road that Hibiki was running along with the little girl? It looked very similar. Hibiki ex machina? Someone ex machina? Yep. Hibiki ex machina. I mean, this time you do deserve a slap, Hibiki. Wasn't Miku working for the agency, though? Why would she be kept out of the know? Hmm. Not sure how much of a fan of the ending I am, honestly. To be perfectly honest with you. Hmm. It didn't quite have the impact I would think it would have. Right? A character seemingly dying and then coming back should have some sort of an impact. This, not quite. Perhaps perhaps it was lessened by me knowing that there are several more seasons of it and that they probably wouldn't just switch the main character so that Hibiki would probably stay alive somehow. Maybe that is what lessened the impact of it. Because I'd imagine that if you were to watch this as it was airing, without even suspecting that more episodes, more seasons might be coming out, this would have much more of an impact. Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Then again, the brevity of it didn't help much, but might just be me. Okay, as promised, let's go through it again. Yeah, I have to give you this view. Symphogear, the second Symphogear that they got from the songs of their friends. None of those people were friends with Chris, besides Miku, but Chris also got the power up somehow. The limiters on your gears released. Well, of course, the gears would have limiters. There's always some limiter, isn't there? Whatever weapon, whatever armor, whatever mecha, whatever Gundam, whatever the main character has, there's always some sort of a limiter, isn't there? Okay, and the noise is crawling out of the treasury of Babylon, and Finé is the one who made it happen constantly. Sure. Uh, interesting how they got telepathy out of nowhere. Like, I get it. It makes sense, narratively speaking, or rather to help the narration, right? The lore, the story, the mechanic of the world is that they power up their symphogear by singing. When they're singing, they cannot talk. It wasn't an issue when each of them was fighting separately, but now that there are three of them and they work as a team, they need to have a means of communication that doesn't get disturbed by them singing. Right? So it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense why they would get it just randomly and spontaneously. Unless it's something that is actually preserved for when they break the limits of their gears and they go into this second henshin mode and then they gain telepathy. Sure. If they gain it permanently, kind of an asspull, not gonna lie. You could explain it by saying that their bond grew so strong that they finally got an understanding of each other and are able to communicate telepathically, which would make sense for Hibiki and Tsubasa, not so much for Chris. Now, they did go through a lot together, and but I don't think Chris would still get this strong of a bond. Maybe with Hibiki, but not with Tsubasa. Kind of an asspull. I see why it was done, but still an asspull. Yeah, they have the time to talk while people are fucking dying. I I'm not sure what to think of their new forms, of their new henshins. I like the addition of energy wings. That's kind of cool. As far as the attacks go, Chris just has the vehicle. Yeah, she just has she has handles and it's a sky motorcycle essentially. Not sure how much of a fan of Chris's form I am, honestly. Not very. I like the. I like that Symphogear are actual armor, right? They're not like Zords from Power Rangers and or Gundams or whatnot. They are pieces of armor, kind of like in Strike Witches. I really liked that in Strike Witches, they had those propellers on their legs. They didn't pilot some mecha, they had just propellers strapped to their legs. I liked how in Yojo Senki they had that single boot and a backpack, or front pack rather, and connected, right? I'm not a huge fan of Chris's flying vehicle mode. And also this scatter shot, I don't know. Now, this is cool, right? Her legs are in the same pieces that her hands are, so uh, uh, still not sure. And they forgot to color her left thruster black, but whatever. It would be better if her hands were in separate parts and her legs were in separate parts, and she still had that humanoid form. Not a huge fan of Chris in this form. Hibiki has energy projectiles from her fists, And again, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the trope of projectiles out of nowhere. Chris's fighting style before made sense, right? She had all those miniguns or those railguns, rocket launchers, crossbows, and whatnot. She had somewhere that those projectiles would appear out of and shoot out of. Chris, after the henshin, there are like two beams connecting with each other, form a ball, and that ball just shoots widely. Not a huge fan. Hibiki just punching and those punches creating swarms of energy projectiles. Not a huge fan. If it was like she was punching and that punch would release a shockwave, energy wave that would, attack an enemy, cool. But randomly flying projectiles from each punch, not a huge fan. I'm sorry to say, not a huge fan. Yeah. And Tsubasa just has bigger sword. That's cool. Bigger sword, that's perfectly fine in my book. Bigger sword is fine. Also, just a small note. Is it just me? I might be wrong, I might be mistaken. But did art quality fall off a little bit in this episode? I'm getting that feeling. Like, I know why it might have, because there's a lot of action, there's a lot to animate, so the quality will suffer due to the sheer quantity that's needed. But do you also notice the quality slightly dropping off? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, it's not ugly by any stretch of imagination, but it is noticeable, to me at least. There's a lot more sliding PNGs, like in this case. Just sliding PNGs and animated mouth. There wasn't that much of it in previous episodes, I don't think. I might be mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, she can now absorb other relics. Apparently that is a power you get. Once you connect with a relic, you can absorb other relics. I wonder if Hibiki would be able to absorb Durandal if she wanted to. And yeah, she summons all the noise and becomes Noise Monster herself. Really cool design. A really cool design. Evokes like stained glass and evokes. That's very Sumerian Babylonian pattern. This in the middle. It bugs me that it's not symmetrical, that it's off center, but it's a cool pattern nonetheless. And I love how she is a part of it. That's another trope I'm a huge sucker of. The big bad, the big villain turns into a bigger bad, but still remains a part of it. Right? She didn't turn into that monster grew around her. That's, I don't know, I just find it appealing. I just find it just straight out cool. She is the Durandal, of course. Yeah, moments like this, animation is kinda... Not animation, art. No, it was a single frame, don't mind me. Doesn't matter much. It probably looks a little worse because we're going through it by just, skipping, so it happens sometimes that we see essentially an in-between frame, motion frame, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're communicating silently what they're gonna do. Yeah, Tsubasa can grow her sword even a size bigger. That's really cool that they're exploiting the weakness of Finé right now. That sure, she can regenerate, but not instantly. Blow up a hole big enough and you can get inside. Also, weakness of her that she's actually inside of that monster. She's not a part of it. If she was a part of it, they would have a much harder time of defeating her. But the way she is right now, they can just crack the shell, get inside, and fight her inside. Which is exactly what Chris is doing. Yeah, attacking her from the inside. And Hibiki grabs the Durandal. The colors of the world are getting reversed. And otherwise, she going Sicko mode when she gets in contact with Durandal. What drives her? The first time she went Sicko mode was when she was rescuing that little girl, so sure, adrenaline, fear, and whatnot. Second time she was fighting the noise very strongly, very ferociously. So that could have triggered her Psycho mode. The third time was when she first got in contact with Durandal, wasn't it? When Finé protected her, or did she go Sicko mode back then? I honestly can't remember. Then, after she got pissed after Chris was seemingly defeated, and now that she got in contact with Durandal for some reason. And of course, nobody else's voice matters, only Miku's. Duh. Symphogear, Durandal, and one hit. One hit with Durandal and Finé is not dead. She's alive. I was really hopeful that she's gonna join us. Either by going back to Ryoko, right? Finé, the consciousness, the priestess deciding to, oh, I'm so weak, I will leave this body and fly away, and I will be back one day. Or by Finé deciding that it's a better course of action to just join them. But then again, why would she? But no, she just abused their trust and decided to pull down a chunk of moon to the earth and essentially sacrifice herself to do that. That slight breeze. And Hibiki, ever the optimist. Whenever your life may be, you'll need strength to unite the world. Be good. And I will always, be good. Carry the message for me. And that was enough to change Finé. Believe in the song in your heart. She's no longer an evil priestess. She's now a good priestess. Kinda campy, if you ask me. But sure. It probably would have been better if she didn't die immediately after saying that. But whatever. And she went with the wind. Last goodbyes, and Hibiki is headed to save the Earth from the chunk of the moon. She uses her superior song, her suicide song, to do that. And no, you won't be alone. You're not alone. We are all with you, and we all have our dreams, and we will all save the world together. Our songs will never be silenced. This is our superb song, except it's only Hibiki who sang it. Unless they're referring to this new song that the three of them actually sang. Is it their, triple suicide song, or are they just carrying through with the energy of Hibiki's suicide song that they're able to pull all those moves, this cosmic scale, sword, this cosmic scale rocket array, this cosmic scale sling. Also, I've been making a lot of comparisons to Trigger shows. The ending, the final act, is in space. Now, aliens weren't involved, but the final act is in space. Need I say more? And yeah, for all they know, Hibiki and the rest sacrifice themselves. The town is still in shambles, in ruins. Everybody's injured. Right. The opposition has made several statements regarding the government's classified weapons program that recently came to light. Party representatives have referred to the incident as the biggest constitutional breach since the war, and there have also been suggestions that the budget should be revised. The American government has also expressed concerns regarding these developments, specifically that the government's actions have involved possible violations of the International Security Treaty. The President of the United States has made an unprecedented statement demanding the publication of all classified material relating to the incident. Honestly, I'm with them. They're not doing that without reason. I wonder where it's gonna go after the Symphogear program was essentially revealed to everybody. They have to have some explanation as to why the moon is missing a good chunk, right? They have to have an explanation about what all those explosions were and all the noise. They can sweep everything under the rug, can they? If they were actually making this show with the full expectation that they're only getting one season, I wonder how they're gonna get out of it. Because, it's easy to show potential repercussions for what happened in the show at the end of the season and then never make another season. But now they have to somehow deal with it. They have to somehow carry on from here. From the world now knowing about the Symphogear, the US government demanding declassification. And I wonder how they're gonna do it. I hope they're gonna do it. I hope they're gonna address it. That they're not just gonna leave it hanging. The issues with the government right now, revised funding and whatnot, people now knowing about Symphogear, Hibiki's friends now knowing that Hibiki was one of the Valkyries, Miku now knowing that Hibiki is alive. Which, again, they classified all the information, made a whole grave for Hibiki. But if Hibiki and Tsubasa and Chris are going to continue saving people, people will see them alive. And people will talk. You can have them sign NDAs, but they will talk. Someone's gonna snap a picture, you're not even gonna know when. So why even classify it? The only explanation is that purely for drama, or as a cop-out of sorts. They fully intended this to be the ending. Right? Everybody's dead. Miku is depressed about it, but she decides to carry the torch for Hibiki. We see the parallel in them running across this street, right? I won't give up, the positive message and whatnot. Perhaps Miku actually managing to rescue this woman. But then they get news about getting approved for a second season. And they're like, oh, yeah, they're alive, but it was classified. That's another explanation. Just completely out of nowhere. Sorry, everything was classified, so we couldn't make contact. And they're wearing their school uniforms. Are they still going to school? I'm glad that Chris joined the team. There's no sign that the chain of suffering will end, but now you can at least hold hands and look at shooting stars. And that's a good ending. That's a good ending to the story. And and that's a decent hook into a... No, actually, no. I wanted to say that the way it ended is a decent hook for the next season, but there wasn't a hook for the next season. There was... they left the possibility of second season coming, right? Because everybody's alive and there's still noise to be fought, so we might make a second season, but there wasn't a hook, right? They didn't introduce like a brand new plot or a brand new, like, I don't know, Genjiro suddenly calling Hibiki and saying, "We found the gates of Babylon. If we close them, this noise will stop." You know, nothing of the sort. They ended it very fully. The ending was very well rounded. Everything ended perfectly well. And if no future seasons were to come, it would be a perfectly good ending, perfectly serviceable. But at the same time, it remained open enough that if they wanted to make more seasons, they can. I like it. That was a nice summary. Nice summary, not a summary, nice ending. Just a nice ending to the whole series. I'm not a huge fan of how quickly Finé turned due to Hibiki's just innocence, I'm guessing, her cinnamon rollness. I think that's like the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of. Finé was in general giving me a lot of whiplash. Right? First she's like, "Oh, I'm defeated, and I really thought that I'm on to something here," and you're almost thinking that she's gonna join and she's gonna be good and she's gonna help our people, and they're gonna be like, "Close the gates of Babylon so the noise stops coming," and she's like, "No, I can't. Now it's out of my control, but I will help you in your journey to close them." You know, something of the sort. But then she suddenly, out of nowhere, decided to just end humanity by pulling down a chunk of the moon. Because if she can't get her way, then all of humanity must die because humanity got in her way, apparently. But that would also mean ending herself because she is reborn from humans from a certain genetic line. Hearing the song that awakens Symphogear and that awakens Finé in whoever shares the genes. Not a well thought out plan, honestly. Then again, Hibiki approached her with pure innocence and, "Oh, you will carry my word." And Finé was like, "You know what, Hibiki? I will carry your word. Listen to the song that is in your heart. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good." She falls apart. Hmm. I'm not sure what to think, honestly. Perhaps a controversial opinion, but those couple of last episodes I wasn't as much a fan of as I was a fan of other episodes. The ending episodes, while still good, don't get me wrong, are probably a little bit on the weaker side in the whole series. There is a little bit too many aspals for my tastes, and everything is going a little bit, just ever so slightly too fast. If they got one more episode, 14 episodes, I'm willing to bet all of the issues that I had with it, with the character whiplash and things appearing out of nowhere for no reason, all of these issues would be solved. I have no doubt. Probably due to time constraints, Finé was constantly, whiplashing, and they get telepathy out of nowhere, and Chris and Tsubasa were awakened out of nowhere. There's a lot of out of nowhere elements here. Maybe future seasons will explain some of them, maybe not. All of that remains to be seen. Overall, good episodes, not the best in the series. For like a full, from the perspective of pure fun factor and as a love letter to the entire series, cool. As a standalone thing, looked at through a critical eye without taking the previous episodes, the benefits of the series as a whole into account, but judging this episode and the previous episode by themselves, probably the weaker links in the whole series, unfortunately. I still had a good time. I absolutely don't think that the series was spoiled by a bad ending or anything of the sort. Absolutely not. But all of it could have been handled better. Not gonna lie. It could have been. I was hoping for something else, for something more, maybe. Yeah, I think the biggest issue I had with the ending, not just this episode, but it started in episode 12, is all those extremely fast shifts, right? Finé is winning, Finé is losing, Finé is winning, Finé is losing. This cutting gear shoots, Chris loses, Finé loses, Hibiki loses, Tsubasa wins, Tsubasa destroys the cutting gear. Finé loses, Finé wins, Finé attacks, Finé loses. A lot of shifts. Finé is good, Finé is bad, Finé has good motivations, Finé has bad motivations. Finé this, Finé that. This one's Chris is dead, Chris is alive, Tsubasa's dead, Tsubasa's alive. A lot of whiplash. Plus, I wasn't a huge fan of the of the second henshin designs, as I mentioned before, and yeah, I think that sums up my feelings regarding this last few episodes just fine. As far as the series as a whole is concerned, the season, that's genuinely good anime. One of the best ones I've seen, honestly. There is a lot of internal consistency, which is, I find, a thing that is missing in a lot of shows. In Symphogear, there is a lot of it. And if something does seem inconsistent initially, it's later explained that it wasn't, in fact, inconsistent. It is acting very well within the established rules of the world. I was also a huge fan of how quickly they resolved any and all drama, right? They didn't prolong it for like 6 episodes of drama between Hibiki and Miku. No, both Hibiki and Miku acted very maturely in their relationship, right? When Miku fucked up, she knew she fucked up and she decided to make up for it to Hibiki. And they made up, and they had a nice time, and they snapped a selfie, and everybody was happy again, right? And it happened on multiple occasions, and I'm a really, really big fan of it, because I really dislike the trend, the trope of, I mentioned it time and again, but oh, I saw you with a woman going out of a store, we're done. And there's like, and it takes 10 episodes for the dude to tell his girlfriend that, oh, it was my sister. That kind of shit I fucking abhor. It wasn't any of that. in Symphogear, and I'm forever grateful for that. The fight scenes were, of course, cool. The animation was great. The art style was great. Although, from what you guys told me, it's only gonna get better. So I'm waiting for that. I want to see it get even better. The stories were great. The characters, especially the characters, that's like a shining point of Symphogear. The characters were amazing. They actually act like real people. Miku acts like a real person. Hibiki acts like a real person. Genjiro, despite him being so inhuman, acts like a real person. Chris acts like a real person. She's wary of Genjiro at first, never, always keeps him in her view. Genjiro doesn't try to pressure Chris. Chris doesn't agree immediately. There's a lot of real human traits in those people. They are actual human beings. That is probably the best part of Symphogear. Everybody's human. Uh, what else? One thing story wise that I'm a little bit disappointed by is that I really thought that it's gonna be all about how the gods are using noise to suppress humanity because humanity is supposed to be cheap labor for the deities or something like that, as I mentioned in one of the previous episodes. But instead, it turned out that everything is Finé's fault, and she just wanted to lift the curse of mixed tongues from humanity and rule the world. Uh, I was hoping for something more grandiose, something on a bigger scale than just, oh, he doesn't want to talk to me, and I love him so much. That was a little bit disappointing. One thing I'm curious about is that American organization that were keeping in touch with Finé. What's gonna become of them? We haven't learned anything about them, anything whatsoever. Since Finé was that priestess, essentially a demigod, kind of, sorta. Why would she need the help of that organization? Why would she willingly work for them? Who is that organization? Why are they trying to seemingly like disperse noise around the world so that why do they exist? What's their agenda? I can't help but wonder about those things. Of course, I hope it's gonna be answered, and the thread is gonna be continued in future seasons. I really hope it will. They wouldn't set it up for nothing. Although, if they thought that it's gonna be only a single season, why would they not close the thread of that organization? Why would they let it loose? Possibly due to time constraints? Maybe. A lot of the faults of the last few episodes definitely feel like time constraints. Anything else? Anything else about the show as a whole? I don't think so. It was a genuinely an enjoyable watch. Genuinely, honestly. I understand the appeal. I understand why so many people are absolutely obsessed with this show. And if it only gets better from here, it's gonna be great. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. No, I think that's it. I think I don't have anything more to say about the show as a whole. If something comes to my mind, I'm gonna say it either at the beginning when we start the next season, or I'm gonna make a standalone video, or I'm gonna post it in the pinned comment, or something like that. I'm gonna communicate it somehow in any case. But yeah, I love the first season. I'm very much looking forward to watching more of them, and we will watch more of them. They're gonna be coming shortly. So yeah, you guys, you tell me, What did you think of this episode? Do you agree with what I said about the downsides of it, about the weaker points, or do you not agree? Do you think it was an impeccable ending, maybe? And if so, please argue your case. Absolutely, my comments are open. If if you want to talk about future seasons, maybe don't do it in the comments because those I read. But you can join my Discord server, and there's a Symphogear channel there, and you can discuss future seasons because you can leave things in spoilers, and I won't look at them. I won't be spoiled. Again, I have to ask you to refrain from spoilers. Don't spoil me anything. I'm gonna watch everything there is to watch about Symphogear, rest assured. So whatever you want to spoil me, I'm gonna figure it out eventually because I'm gonna watch the episode where it happens. No worries. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel so you get notified of future releases, and not only Symphogear but also Sabiku Ibisco Arifureta Season 2, Dolls Front Line, and Tokyo 24 Cool. If you really like what I'm doing, you can join me. You can join my Patreon, link in the description. For $10 a month, you get early access to Symphogear, to any non-seasonal show. Right now it's Symphogear. So if you can't wait to see the first episode of the next season, chances are it's already up on Patreon. So if you pay me $10 monthly, you will be able to watch it early. And for just $1 a month, you get access to a special role on my Discord server, and that role gives you access to a special channel that is for patrons only, and you can utilize it however you please. Share this video with other people, with fellow people who love Symphogear. If maybe someone wants to discuss my pain points about this ending, share it and discuss it with other people and disagree with me or agree with me. Maybe I brought up some good points, maybe I brought up some bad points. Share it with people. The more you guys spread the word about my channel, about my videos, the more YouTube itself promotes them, and that gives me a nice boost. And I'm happy because people watch my content, and that's always cool. What else? Join my Discord, I already mentioned that. That's gonna be it. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. Symphogear Season 1 was amazing. I'm looking forward to Season 2. And yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So, as always, do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you guys the next one. Cheers. And this is yet another benefit my patrons get. They get to be in the credits.